up, man? Turkey talk. What up with it? How y'all doing, man? What's good? Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's living well. Hope all y'all in good spirits. Thank y'all for being here with me. Uh, this is Torture Talk. You landed on the King of the North, if you don't know. So look, man. Um, today's episode, we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. And is Drake career really over? And some people got some things to say about it. So before we get into that, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13, 14, 15,000. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it, man. Let's go. One light is off. I don't know why. All right, man. So this comes from Ebro in Nadeska. Let's see what they got to say about this, man. I'm very interested in this topic because I want to see what they say about this. So let's go.
Run around. You're going to have Drake putting out more music and I'm sure selling out shows and doing things. It's all great. It all worked out great for hip hop.
Everything came full circle. Everybody got what they wanted, and then they went back to normally scheduled programming. He's on tour. He's going on tour, dropping albums. It's like nothing. It's like nothing ever happened.
No, you got.
Yo, I love this. It's like nothing ever happened. because it's Kendrick beating Drake. So now it's like nothing ever happened. It's everybody goes on with their life. Like, no, it's not. It's not what it is. That's not what it is. Drake is still in the hole. He's still in the hole. He ain't get out the hole. I don't understand why y'all would think he's out the hole. He's not out the hole. I actually think that his career is worse than it was before. I was going to say worser. I don't think that's word. Worse than it was before. I actually believe that. I think that Kendrick put a hurting on him and he's playing this role. He's playing this role. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm just saying from what I'm seeing, I think a lot of people are being very delusional when it comes to Drake because they so used to him winning that him losing, it's like, nah, that's not. This can't be. It is. It is.
I wouldn't say that.
Let me walk
it
that
is
back.
Not like nothing ever happened.
Let me walk that back.
And for the fans, it's okay, guys. No one thought anyone's career was just going to be over. And
No,
this was
wait,
it.
but Eddie,
we knew that.
Bro, we sat on this couch many times. Remember the day I asked you, I was like, how does Drake come out of this? Y'all was like, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And I'm like, he'll be fine, but it'll be different.
It will.
It will. And he's fine.
He's fine.
It's different.
I mean, is he really fine though? I mean, are y'all saying like on what terms are y'all saying he's fine? Are y'all saying he's fine off of because his music is still streaming? I mean, he only dropped one album and the album did good the first week as far as like breaking records of streaming whatever, but that's because people was more curious about what he's saying. But what about this week? How y'all feel about it this week? Is it still doing good this week? I heard it dropped from 1 to 73 or something like that. I mean, is it doing good now? That's my question to a lot of y'all that are Drake fans. Are y'all just going to admit that he took a hit? And I'm talking like a significant hit, not just because a lot of y'all think that Drake is untouchable. He got touched. Big as the what? And the man performs at the Super Bowl that you was dissing. He got touched. I don't know why do y'all feel as though that y'all can't admit just that part? He got knocked on his ass. And I'm thinking that he's still in a hole. And I think that he's pretending and playing these things. Yeah, obviously Drake's going to sell shows. He's going to sell shows. His name is still big. But his impact isn't the same. His allure isn't the same. I'm telling y'all now, if he does, I want to see a temperature check in America. If he does concerts in America, I really want to see how his shows do in America. I can almost guarantee you now he won't sell a stadium out now. I know for a fact that he won't sell a stadium out now. I know that for a fact he won't. Tell you right now. I'll go on record saying that.
But we're here, guys. We're still here.
Listen, he's
You know
fine.
what I mean?
It's different.
It's different.
By the way, great opportunity to segue. J. Cole, it's different for J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember, we was up here and he said he was the GOAT off features.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, what was the other line he tried to slide with?
Like Muhammad Ali or whatever.
He said, if I would have something, I would have won the battle or something.
Yeah,
He was like, time out, my
guy. He was
guy.
like, no, you wouldn't.
There's certain things that people going to be like, I mean,
You
not
can't,
really.
like,
not
you
so
can't,
much.
yeah, there's certain things that Cole can't really stand on.
But that doesn't mean we don't love you.
That's facts. You can't stand on none of that stuff now. You done gave that up. You done gave it up, man. But some people gonna still love him regardless. And I feel you. Artist takes L's. But I mean, some people, they still like certain people. People still like MGK, even though he lost to Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Some people even say he beat Eminem. And I got a good video coming up for y'all about Eminem and something. I want y'all to see this because I just want y'all to see it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's it's a pretty good conversation, you know what I'm saying, about it. So, but yeah, let's keep it going.
That doesn't mean we don't regard you highly.
Right.
That doesn't mean we don't celebrate none of this. But I get it, man. It's like, listen, man, Pat Mahomes was about to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, bro. Pat Mahomes was going to be GOATed 3 Super Bowls.
Washed.
Right? He got washed at the Super Bowl.
He's still the same.
Give you your money back.
He's still the same.
But he's still very accomplished and still one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. And will end his career as probably one of the greatest to ever do it.
But it's different.
But it's slightly different.
It's a little different.
I don't really know too much about football. I mean, but I'll speak on this. That doesn't diminish his chances of being the greatest quarterback of all time because he's still young. And what happens if he comes back and wins 3 in a row this time? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know too much about football. I keep saying Super Bowl football. But I do understand a little bit. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But he could come back and win more, you know what I'm saying? He's good enough to do that. Definitely good enough to do that. I'm sure that he's gonna probably go back to the Super Bowl again. You know what I'm saying? Probably next year. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let's keep it going.
It's all
Because if he would have won, then it's like, oh, he's right behind Brady.
Can I
Now
say
it's
this?
like, all right, bro.
I just want all the other rappers that aren't J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. Okay, I'm gonna put them over to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Can the rest of y'all help us out?
Well,
Please.
what do you mean?
I just need y'all to be exciting, a little bit more dynamic. Like, music is great. Like, make great music.
They can't do it. I'll be honest with you. If you have a niche fan base like Future, a core fan base is something different. But most rappers, Kendrick Lamar him beating Drake really messed a lot of careers up. And I think a lot of y'all don't understand this. Kendrick Lamar messed a lot of people's careers up by him beating Drake because people was following behind Drake. And he really put a beating on Drake. And now people have to do things that are thought-provoking. They have to do artistry that people can appreciate or watch or listen to for a long time. The only good albums that I heard that came out after the beef, well, it was some, but the ones that stood out was Tyler, the Creator, and The Weeknd. And The Weeknd is not a rapper, but still in all, that stood out. Those are albums that's creativity. G&X, creativity. This guy drops us some sexy songs for you, and he's dissing people on the track. I thought you said this was for women. Those was for Valentine's Day. What is it, the Valentine's Day Massacre? Like, what is this? I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
Part of it. Make exciting, dynamic music, because it's not just about before beef even started.
Easy,
bro.
No,
We're not gonna. We're not gonna get that moment. We're not gonna get that moment.
It's not an easy request.
People always do
It's
the
just
thing.
really
They think we're
hard, man.
Listen, I understand it's hard, but before the beef even started, those were the three most dynamic people we had. I'm removing the beef away from it.
Yeah.
You know, people in the comments like, why are you always talking about Drake? Why are you always talking about Kendrick? Why are you always talking about J. Cole? The rest of us, give us something. We would love to talk about more.
So, all right, I'm gonna put it to you like this. This is the reason why. Here's the thing, right? And this is the reason why I like hosts like this, but sometimes I think that they always saying that they don't like radio and even though they work on the radio, they don't want commercialized artistry or whatever. But there's artists out there that are really good that y'all don't promote. There's a lot of rappers that are really good that y'all don't promote. I don't understand this. You saying you want artists, you asking for the top artists to do these things. The top artist is J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, right? Those are the top artists. Those three are occupied. So you say you moved them to the side. Who else do you have? You ain't say nothing about Tyler's album or Tyler, the Creator, which album was classic, which was a good album. You ain't speak on that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You ain't say nothing about Lupe's album, which was the Samurai album, which was pretty good. You didn't say nothing about that. And it's like, a lot of y'all want the artists that y'all want to be big. And they have to have some type of popularity with them, because if we're talking about a person who does music consistently and it's good, Ransom. You ain't saying nothing about him. Why you ain't putting him out there? He got albums on iTunes and Spotify. And his albums are really good, but nobody's talking about him. This is what I'm saying. So a lot of times when you get people like this always talking about, oh, we want the rappers to be excited and good again. Ransom is right there, bro. He's right there. And his albums are really good. He's right there. People say, oh, he's just a rapper. Nah, bro. He has a whole theme. He did a whole thing, bro. He's right there. There's a lot of artists that's right there that y'all don't promote. And this is the reason why you got channels like mine.
So boom, stay on that for a minute.
Okay.
Do you see how much Kendrick and Drake and Cole and Nicki Minaj have given of themselves to this game so that we can have great music? And by the way, not just giving in the recording process, but giving of their personal lives.
Touring,
just
taking time away from family.
This is hard, man.
Yeah.
This is.
Say this, man, and I want y'all to understand something. I want y'all to understand me really clearly, right? Let me do something. I want y'all to understand me real clearly, right? Don't put Nicki Minaj and Drake in the same category as Kendrick Lamar as making good music. Now, I'm not saying that Nicki don't make good music, and I ain't saying that Drake don't make good music. They make their own type of music, but don't put them in the same category because they're not the same type of artist. They're not. They're not the same type of artists. Let's be clear here. That's number one. Number two, all of these radio personalities, they definitely try to pretend like they don't use the popularity card, but they actually do. That is the first card that they pull out. It's one of those cards that they don't speak on, outright speak on it, but it's right there in your face. Because the artists that they're mentioning are popular artists. They're not talking about rappers who actually are good and that's not popular. Because to them, if you are not popular, you don't really make good music because they go off of hits. Every one of these people go off of hits. Whatever hit that they believe is going to put you in a certain stratosphere, that's what they look at. So they 100% go off of popularity. Don't ever let them tell you that they don't. Every one of these radio personalities, from Ebro down to Joe Buttons, all of them, they all look at hits. They all do. They don't look at pure skill or pure music. And I'm telling you, if that doesn't change, then it will never change. It will never change. You will only have one guy that is really good at what he does, and that's Kendrick. And everybody else will fall at the wayside because they're going to look at Kendrick Lamar as a lyrical, conscious rapper that's successful, right? Maybe the influence will pull people up and say, oh, I want to hear more music like him. Maybe that's what it might be. But for right now, they're still banking on people like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Future, and some of these other artists that are popular to do hits, because they don't look at a lot of these people, a lot of these radio hosts, if they believe it or not, they don't have a mind of their own. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way. They all out here seeking validation from the masses. You know what I'm saying? And they not, and even though they're radio personalities, and I'm not gonna put it all the ownership on them saying they need to promote people, but at the same time, you're giving us levels of rappers who are really not rappers. They have writers. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Kendrick and Cole, most of them have writers, and maybe Nicki, but most of them have writers. You know what I'm saying? And you're basically putting them on a pedestal, not a pedestal, but you're putting them there versus somebody like Ransom and the rest of these people, Black Noir, Trust, and all of them who are really good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? Conway, Benny, all of them, but you're not putting them at the forefront. It seems like those type of artists, they have to work 10 times as hard to get y'all to mention them, even though they're better rappers than most people.
Not easy to be that great. Mm-hmm. And
Mama mentality,
consistently. But by the way, look what Lil Wayne had to give. Mm-hmm. Right? Look what Lil Wayne gave of his whole physical body to continue to stay engaged and want to write at a certain level and create at a certain level. And by the way, this isn't specific to hip hop. Look at some of the greatest musicians and artists you've loved in your life and what they gave to continue to create and try to find ways to be amazing. It's
Eddie, difficult.
I know you want, it's only a few, man. And by the way, in hip hop, we're spoiled.
Yep.
Yo, this shit has been popping for a long time. Most music genres don't get this level of
activeness.
Man, for this long?
Like, it's specifically last year, we got fucking spoiled just by those two.
I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you. I think all genres have their, like, I'll put it to you like this, right? I think that he's right in a sense, but I don't think he's fully right about that. I do think that hip hop, I do think that we are spoiled because we don't look at artistry no more than we look at hits. Hits has to be before artistry. People argue with you over hits and not even the song quality or nothing. They just look at the billboard. That's all they look at. When you're talking about rock music, and you're talking about R&B, let's just say soul music, R&B, rock music ran the game for a while into I would say to the 80s. Then you had the 80s era came in, 80s pop or whatever, right? But pop music came around. Pop music basically ended rock music. Hip hop music took a lot of elements from rock music. Believe it or not. A lot of people could try to argue me with this. I know my shit. Trust me. I ain't going to sit here and tell y'all that. But hip hop music took a lot of elements from rock music, which is nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that rock music created hip hop. I'm just saying like some of the elements, if you think about it, hip hop music took or borrowed, right? And I would say the same thing about they took from the 80s pop too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that. A lot of those producers took from that. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not. But the point I'm making is all genres reach a certain point. Now he's right about hip hop is spoiled. And I believe that's because we look at numbers before we look at artistry. And I think Kendrick Lamar, that's why Kendrick Lamar is so important, because he put artistry back at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? All his music is based around artistry. Everything he does. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does. Now, Lupe is the same way, but he just doesn't get as much burn. Don't get me wrong, Lupe has a following, but he doesn't get that much burn as Kendrick Lamar. And I think he's not as digestible as Kendrick. I would say that. But that's not the point. The point is there are artists out there that put that what's the name at the forefront. And I think that put their artistry at the forefront. But I think people like Ebro and a lot of these radio personalities, they don't push that. They push the hits because they think that it has to be, they think that for hip hop to stay afloat, they believe that hip hop has to be based around hits. That's what I would say. A lot of these radio personalities look like if hip hop doesn't have any hits, we're going to fall. You've seen what happened in 2023 when hip hop wasn't even in the top 10 and then Kendrick came and basically saved it. You know what I'm saying? People could say whatever they want. They could say whatever they want. But Drake didn't save hip hop. Kendrick did. You know what I'm saying? He came and he's still in the top 10. He's been in the top 10 for a year. He's still there. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going.
Yo, that moment spoiled the fuck out of So now that's how you feel. You're like, yo, I want that excitement again.
And by the way, Kendrick is bigger than he's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Because the what?
That was good.
Well done.
That was good.
Well done what you just did. That was well done.
That was good.
It don't matter because of what. See, a lot of y'all think that here's the issue with that argument, right? If you're saying that Kendrick is bigger now because he battled Drake, right? Then Drake should be bigger now. How is it that because I battled you and I beat you, that made me bigger, right? Okay, but why? I'll say so why aren't you selling? Why aren't you doing things at the same rate as I am? Because you were the bigger artist. You still got some staying power. You still that guy, right? You still the boy. That's the problem with that argument. Because a lot of people, it's like when it comes to this beef or this between Kendrick and Drake, a lot of y'all say stuff like, well, the reason why he won, the reason why he's so big is because of Drake. So even if Kendrick would have battled Drake and lost, right? Drake still wins either way because you're going to say, well, he beat him. Drake beat Kendrick because he was bigger than him and he couldn't take it. Or you're going to say, well, the reason why Kendrick is so big is because he battled Drake. So either way, in your head, this is what I mean by the delusion of a lot of y'all Drake fans. You literally say Drake wins either way. He won either way because he made him bigger. So the reason why he's so big, let's not get it twisted. I want y'all to understand it. Kendrick Lamar might not have been as big as Drake, but he was still number 2 under Jay-Z and the greatest rappers of all time. So you can say whatever. Y'all can say, oh man, Kendrick Lamar, he wasn't as big as Drake. Okay. He wasn't as popular as Drake, but he has platinum records. Drake has 33 million or something like that. And Kendrick before the battle had 8. 8 platinum records ain't nothing to be, oh man, I can't believe that's success. Most artists go through their whole career without even getting one. So I don't understand the argument that people make. Okay, yeah, he battled Drake and he got some popularity, but it's not about him getting popularity over Drake. It's actually the music that made Kendrick popular because he had an album that's successful after the battle that sold more than Drake. That if he does another album, he's going to sell more than Drake again. So the argument that y'all be making, I just don't understand it. I don't understand how y'all try to use that at the forefront as a weapon against Kendrick. It was a battle and Drake lost. He engaged in the battle. He didn't even go forward. He quit. That's all I'm saying.
DJ Mustard is bigger than he's ever been. Mm-hmm. And they were already, for us.
They were already top notch.
Like the whole Super Bowl and what he did. I don't know.
But here's my thing. Like, y'all gotta understand, these people made hits already. This is why I hate when people do this. They try to downplay them by saying that they're bigger than what they were. They still had hits under their belt. DJ Mustard produced so many hits. Kendrick had so many hits. They already had hits already. I don't understand this. They already had hits, so what are you saying? Okay, he got bigger. Yeah. His career got better. He got bigger. Yeah, okay. But they already had hits already. They was already successful. Like, let's not act as if like these people wasn't successful before the battle. Like, come on, bro.
No fans is already mad.
they
Let's
already-
drink it.
they
I
ready.
just,
They ready.
I just
come on,
noticed,
man.
like,
We'll focus on
the conversation that we
great
had about, like,
project. Y'all
the
did
NBA
numbers, man.
All-Star
You're
game.
loved, man. You put on for the city. Shit is fire. The sun was out in New York City this weekend. People was bumping Nokia.
Yep.
You know, Give Me a Hug was moving around the city in the clubs. It feels good out here. Man, enjoy.
14th #1 album. Congrats.
Enjoy. Amazing,
Congrats.
bro. Amazing. Amazing.
You see what I mean? This is all they care about. That's it. They don't care. They don't care about the music. He mentioned 2 songs, and both of those songs are not even that good. And again, if you're talking about quality of music, right? There's artists that's better than Drake that has albums out right now that y'all could be promoting, but y'all don't promote them because y'all only care about the numbers. That's it. I don't know if this thing is I don't think y'all being paid for that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't know if you have to talk about certain people. I don't know. But y'all don't want to look stupid by saying somebody's name that nobody knows because you don't want to look like, well, you're promoting someone. Because what it is you talk about artists like Drake, Kendrick, you're not promoting them. Basically, when you talk about them, your show gets promoted. But if you talk about somebody like Ransom or Rome Streets or something like that, then you're promoting them in a way. If that makes sense. But a lot of these dudes, I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, you want these dudes. He said, 14 #1 albums, 14 #1 hits. Okay, so he dropped the album and it wasn't that good, and you're praising him for having a #1 hit, but the album was trash, and y'all know the album's trash. He mentioned 2 songs out of 21 songs. He mentioned 2, and the songs are not that good, and y'all are on it like, oh yeah, 14 #1s. So you okay with mediocre stuff as long as it's #1? That's all y'all care about.
It's Rap Life Review. Eddie Lowe, I'm Ebro. See y'all next week.
Again, I'm not trying to rep for Cole. Y'all don't think that.
All right, so that's enough of that. Yeah, man. I think a lot of times, man, you get a lot of these radio personalities, these hosts, and these podcasters. They so fixated on numbers that they don't really care about the art inside of it. He said the first thing they run to is, oh, Drake, 14 #1, so he's still the best. Be like, okay, so he dropped the album. He dropped that album, and there was no other R&B albums or whatever type in that category. So he went #1, and he dropped the album when there's no other albums dropping, and his name is still Drake. Don't get it twisted. He still got fans, right? But it was to me it was more of a curiosity thing. So of course he would go #1, but Kendrick went #1 too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, we're gonna have this de-measuring contest about who got the most #1. See, every time he drop, he go #1. He ain't lose a step. Be like, bro, it could be because he has a lot of followers, and it's not the fact that he has good music, because everybody would say that this album isn't good. The album is poor, but because it went #1, you would stand on that as it being not even being good. Your argument is he went #1, not that the music's good. And I think that's the problem with a lot of y'all podcasters. Y'all don't look at the artistry within the CD. Y'all look at, well, it's bumping because y'all looking for validation. Everybody has to like it. You know what I'm saying? Look at let's take Samurai for example, right? Lupe Fiasco Samurai, right? Album was pretty good. I like the album, but it had maybe 1 or 2 songs on there, but they didn't really bump that album. Maybe they talked about it. I don't know if they did on the show or not, but they didn't bump that album. They didn't say, oh man, that Samurai album, that is something that really needs to be studied. That is what Drake just did. Nah, because they look bad if they go in there and say, this album is terrible. He need to make more music that's thought provoking. You don't want to say that. But their first thing they'll say is, "Oh, 14 number one hits." That's what their argument will lead off of. So if you argue with them about, well, Kendrick's better, well, he ain't got 14 number ones, so how could he be better? That's their argument. Not the fact that the music's good. It's just the fact that all of this shit is manufactured, and of course, Drake could get pushed up to number one, even though it's bad. He could have a whole CD. He could have made a CD of farting, and it went to number one, and they would use that and say, "See, look, he had a CD of farting. That's how much of a GOAT he is. His whole CD was nothing but different type of farts. And he's the GOAT because he still went number one." They don't even take into account that they have a system already in place for him to push him up to the top. You know what I'm saying? Whether UMG like it or not, they want their money. So they're gonna push him up to the top. That's how it goes. They all about business. He might be a little bit personal, but all right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it, man. Y'all hope you have yourself a good evening, man. See y'all. Peace. Bye. Peace. Bye. Peace. Bye. Peace. Bye.